must watch. A woman will do this when you stop talking to her. Old Stoic wisdom. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Let's start with a hard truth. Most men were raised to believe that effort equals attraction, that if you like her, you must chase. Text first, call first, keep the energy alive. Be the one to hold the connection together. But what if I told you that this constant effort is exactly what's killing your value? Here's the Stoic truth most men don't realize until it's too late. A man's silence speaks louder than his words, if he knows how to use it. When you stop talking to her, when you go quiet, pull back, and let the silence do the talking, you trigger something powerful in her psychology. You give her space to feel, to think, and most importantly, to react. And it's in that reaction where her true feelings are revealed. She might reach out. She might get angry. She might try to provoke a response. Or she might say nothing at all. But here's the secret. Every reaction is information. Her response tells you everything about her interest level, her emotional maturity, and whether she values you or just the attention you gave her. Silence isn't weakness. It's not a game. It's leverage. Because when you go quiet, two things happen. She starts wondering why. She starts realizing what your presence actually meant. In Stoic philosophy, emotional detachment isn't about apathy, it's about power. It's about staying grounded in your worth and not allowing temporary emotions to control your actions. You see, most men panic in silence. They feel the urge to reach out, to fix things, to get closure. But Stoic men, they don't react, they observe, they wait. They let the dust settle and let truth come forward. And truth always rises when you stop talking. Now, don't confuse this with manipulation. This isn't about playing mind games. It's about stepping back to protect your energy and to see what's real. If she's genuinely interested, she'll show it. And if she's not, that silence will tell you louder than words ever could. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what a woman actually does when you stop talking to her. Whether it's an ex, a woman who pulled away, or someone you were casually seeing, this silence will trigger something in her. And you need to know how to read it. Because once you master this, you'll never chase clarity again. You'll attract it. Let's face it. If you've been doing all the work, all the texting, and constantly wondering where you stand, this message is your wake-up call. You deserve a connection that flows both ways, and silence will show you whether that's possible, or if you're better off walking away like a king. And if you know a man who keeps giving his all but gets little in return, share this video with him. Let's raise the standard, one wise man at a time. Now let's dive in. Here's what really happens when you stop talking to her. 1. She starts watching you closely. When you stop talking to a woman, especially one who's grown used to your consistent attention, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. She starts watching you more closely than ever before. At first glance, it may appear like she doesn't care. She may remain quiet, give off an air of indifference, and seem like she's moved on. But the reality is often the complete opposite. Women are intuitive by nature, incredibly observant of details that men often overlook. And when the rhythm of daily messages or frequent conversations suddenly halts, her curiosity doesn't just increase, it intensifies. Without saying a word, she begins to monitor your every move, especially on social media. She may never like a post or leave a comment, but rest assured, she's one of the first to view your stories. She reads your captions, analyzes your photos, and searches for clues, because now she's uncertain. And uncertainty is emotional fuel. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you withdraw your presence, you're no longer reacting emotionally. You're no longer handing over your energy freely. And this silence, it disturbs her inner balance. She begins to question, why did he stop talking to me? Did he lose interest? Is he seeing someone else? Was I not enough? These thoughts don't just sit quietly in her mind. They spiral. They create an emotional tension. And in human psychology, tension often breeds attraction. It's the space between certainty and uncertainty that draws her in. In that quiet, She starts investing mental and emotional energy into you, wondering, watching, waiting, and it doesn't stop online. If you're in the same social circles or community, you'll see it in person too. Those glances that linger a second too long, her presence in places she knows you frequent, and those moments when she pretends not to notice you even though she clearly does. Her body language will tell you everything her mouth won't. And this isn't manipulation, it's instinct. You see, when you were always available, she never had to wonder. Your energy was predictable, safe, and constant. But Stoic wisdom teaches us to value our attention like gold. He who angers you conquers you, said Elizabeth Kenny. And the same principle applies with attention. He who has your attention controls your emotional state. By stepping back, you reclaim control, not over her, but over yourself. And that shift is magnetic. Let's put this into a real-world scenario. Maybe you were the man who checked in on her every morning, asked about her day, made her feel special. Then one day, that stream of attention dries up. You stop reaching out. You focus on yourself. Your gym routine sharpens. Your photos reflect clarity and confidence, and your energy feels different. She notices. She doesn't say it right away, but she's thinking, why is he glowing up without me? Eventually, it slips out in a passing comment. So, you've been busy lately? That's not just idle chit-chat. That's her fishing. It's her way of gauging where she stands in your life. Because silence, for a woman who's used to attention, is louder than words. This is the power of pulling back, not to manipulate, but to create space for her to reflect. Because when a woman starts thinking deeply about why you're no longer talking to her, she doesn't just analyze your behavior, she begins to confront her own feelings. And that internal dialogue is where emotional connection is born. As the Stoics say, self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. In that calm detachment, you remain grounded. You don't chase. You don't explain. You simply become a man of quiet dignity. And dignity, to a woman who's used to being pursued, is often irresistible. So here's the truth. Sometimes the best way to be heard is through silence. If you've pulled back and noticed these signs in her behavior, it's not by accident. It's human nature. And it's also your chance to decide what kind of connection you truly want. Are you reacting? Or are you reflecting? Let your silence speak of strength, not spite. Let your absence teach her the value of your presence. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a woman begin to pay more attention when you pulled away? What signs did you see? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your experience could help another man navigate this delicate path with clarity and confidence. 2. She tests you with a random text. When you go silent on a woman, especially one who's used to having your attention, she might not react right away. At first, she may act like it doesn't faze her. She'll play it cool, convincing herself and maybe even her friends that your silence doesn't bother her. But here's what's really happening beneath the surface. That silence, it echoes. Over time, it starts to press on her mind, creating a tension that grows stronger with each passing day. And when that silence becomes too loud to ignore, she'll break it, but not with a grand gesture or a heartfelt message. No, it'll be something small, seemingly random, a text that looks like it could have been sent to anyone. Hey, what's up? Or maybe a funny meme that has nothing to do with your connection. On the surface, it feels meaningless, but that's the trick. It's not about the content of the message, it's about the intention behind it. This is a test, and it's one of the oldest in the book. A woman doesn't want to appear vulnerable, so she tests the waters in the most casual way possible. What she's really asking is, are you still affected by me? Do I still have a place in your mind? Am I still in control? Now here's where most men fail. They respond instantly, with excitement, with eagerness, with validation. They see that text and think, she reached out, that means she wants me back. But more often than not, it's not about desire, it's about reassurance. She wants to know that she can still reel you in with minimal effort. And the moment you take that bait, the power shifts back into her hands. She knows you're still emotionally hooked. And with that knowledge, she pulls away again, because the mystery is gone. There's no longer a challenge. In today's world of instant gratification, texts like these are the modern equivalent of breadcrumbs, a digital nudge to see if the man she once had still dances to her tune. And here's the truth. High-value men don't dance to anyone's tune. They don't leap at every vibration in their pocket. They understand that silence is not weakness, it's strength. It creates mystery, intrigue, and most importantly, space. Space where attraction can either grow or fade, depending on how it's handled. 3. She posts to get your attention. When you go silent on a woman, something primal kicks in, something ancient, hidden beneath layers of modern politeness and digital noise. She won't admit it, but she starts posting for one reason: to get your attention back without ever having to say a word. Silence, my friend, is not weakness. It's a strategy. It creates curiosity, and curiosity is a force more powerful than persuasion. The moment you step away, stop texting, stop validating her, she feels the shift and she panics. She won't run to your inbox. Number, that's too obvious. Instead, she turns to her greatest weapon in the modern era: social media. Suddenly, her feed transforms. It's not random. It's precision. A carefully filtered selfie appears, one that screams, "Look at me," without saying it. The caption is vague but sharp. Something about not chasing, about growing, about letting go of what no longer serves her. You see it, and whether you admit it or not, it hits. Then she posts a night out with her friends. Drinks, heels, laughter, maybe even a photo with a guy's arm casually in frame. Why? Because she's playing chess, not checkers. She wants you to react, not with a message, not with words, but with weakness, a like, a comment, a DM. That's all she needs to know you're still orbiting around her. "He who angers you conquers you," said Elizabeth Kenny. But in this case, she doesn't want to anger you. She wants to confuse you, distract you, rehook you. That's why the strongest move a man can make is no move at all. You see the post? Scroll. You feel the urge to respond? Resist. You think the quote is about you? It probably is. But your silence will echo louder than any reply. That silence will drive her to madness, because now the power has shifted. You're not chasing. You're not reacting. You're not feeding her need for validation. And validation, make no mistake, is control. Women don't chase what's easy. They chase what's rare. When you stop talking, stop showing up, stop making her feel seen, she will do everything to be noticed again. But here's the twist. The more effort she puts into getting your attention, the more she becomes emotionally invested. The more she tries, the more she thinks. The more she thinks, the more she feels. And the more she feels, the more you win. It's reverse psychology at its finest. The less you engage, the more control you gain. The less you validate, the more power you hold. "Power resides where men believe it resides," said George R.R. Martin. And when she starts wondering if you've moved on, if you've truly disconnected, that's when the real chase begins. She checks who viewed her stories. She times your silence. She posts again, louder, flashier, riskier. But you remain calm, composed, stoic, because you know this. A man who controls his attention controls the game. Don't fall for the trap. Don't give in to the bait. Let her come to you. Let her drown in her own curiosity. Let her feel what it's like to lose the man who once made her feel like a queen. And if you're ready to become that man, the kind of man no woman can manipulate, the kind of man who walks with calm dominance and emotional clarity, then like this video, drop a comment saying, "I choose silence and power," and subscribe for more wisdom that puts you back in control. The game isn't about chasing. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that they chase you. Always. 4. She acts like she doesn't care. She acts like she doesn't care, and at first glance it's convincing. She's not texting, not asking how you are, not showing the slightest sign of missing you. Instead, she seems even more alive, laughing in pictures, posting like nothing ever happened, smiling with friends, and radiating an image of someone completely untouched by your absence. But that's exactly the point, because when someone has genuinely moved on, They don't need to perform indifference, they simply live it. As the Stoic Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and that's where the game begins." If her thoughts were truly free of you, she wouldn't feel the need to craft an illusion. When a woman suddenly becomes a master of pretending not to care, you must understand that it's rarely spontaneous. It's intentional. She's withholding text messages not because she has nothing to say, but because she wants to see if you'll crack. She's staying silent in mutual circles not because she forgot you exist, but because she wants to appear stronger than she feels. Every time she posts a picture where she looks happier without you, it's not a window into her peace. It's often a mirror reflecting the emotional tension she's hiding. Women, especially those emotionally intelligent, know how to make their silence loud. They know how to turn absence into a performance, hoping you'll tune in and begin to doubt yourself. And this is where most men fall into the trap. They start overanalyzing. You wonder, has she really moved on? Was I just temporary? And as soon as you start thinking that way, you begin to shift from a place of grounded power into emotional weakness. You begin to contemplate breaking the silence, not from clarity, but from curiosity. That's when she wins. She doesn't need to chase you back because you've already turned around. The ancient Stoics taught us that true strength is not found in reaction, but in restraint. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself. If she's acting indifferent, let her. It's not your job to decode her performance. Instead, you must mirror that energy with quiet dignity, not to manipulate, but to remain rooted in self-respect. Continue focusing on your life, your growth, your mission. Let her wonder why you didn't reach out. Let her mind wander through the silence she created. That shift in dynamic puts the pressure back on her, not because you forced it, but because you didn't fall into the emotional trap. Real detachment doesn't require announcements. If a woman has truly moved on, she won't need to test your ego. She'll be gone without a trace, without a show, and without needing you to notice. So when she's pretending not to care, understand, it's not always a sign of closure. Often, it's a test of control. And the only way to win is not to play. Like a seasoned Stoic warrior, hold the line. Live well, speak less, and let your calm silence speak volumes. The moment she realizes her performance no longer moves you, that's when the cracks in her armor begin to show. And if you ever doubt your path, remember, silence, when rooted in strength, always echoes louder than desperation. Now tell me, have you ever experienced a woman pretending not to care, only to circle back later? What did you do? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it and what Stoic wisdom helped you stay grounded. 5. She tries to make you jealous. A woman who senses your silence, not just the absence of your words, but the withdrawal of your emotional presence, will often respond in a way that seems calculated, yet cloaked in subtlety. She will try to make you jealous. Women, by nature and experience, have a profound understanding of emotional dynamics, and when they feel the loss of your attention, they don't always confront it head-on. Instead, they create scenarios designed to provoke you, not with aggression, but with precision. Suddenly, in casual conversation or subtle online posts, she begins mentioning other men. Nothing direct, nothing overt, just a passing comment about the guy at work who's so funny, or the new guy at the gym who's surprisingly interesting. It sounds harmless on the surface, almost like small talk, but underneath lies a deliberate message. Other men are giving her attention now. This is not a coincidence. It's a calculated emotional chess move, and most men, without knowing it, walk right into it. The average guy hears this and immediately feels a tightening in his chest. Doubt creeps in. Questions start racing through his head. Is she moving on? Is she trying to replace me? Am I losing her? And as those thoughts swirl, emotion takes the wheel. He reacts. He tries harder, sends longer texts, maybe even interrogates her about these men. And just like that, she wins. Because the moment you react with jealousy, you validate her strategy, you show her that you still care, that your emotions are still accessible, that she still holds space in your mind. And from that moment on, the power dynamic tilts back in her favor. But here's where Old Stoic wisdom offers clarity. Women don't advertise what they're truly invested in. If she were genuinely interested in this new guy, she wouldn't be telling you about him. She wouldn't need to make you aware. She'd simply pursue him in silence, just like you wouldn't text another woman while speaking to someone you're truly captivated by at a party. Her need to announce, to hint, to post. It's not a signal of moving on, it's a signal of insecurity. It's theatre, not truth. A performance meant to stir your emotions. And you have a choice, to be the audience or to be the man who refuses to react. One of the clearest examples of this game is when she suddenly posts a picture with another guy, often just after you've gone quiet. The image isn't obviously romantic, it's calculated. Maybe his arms around her shoulder. Maybe the caption is vague enough to imply something deeper, yet innocent enough to deny if questioned. But make no mistake, she knows you'll see it. She's not just hoping for a reaction, she's waiting for one. She refreshes the feed. She checks her messages. She watches for the notification that says, "He cracked." The weak move, texting her, asking who he is, letting her know she got under your skin. But the high-value, stoic move, the one rooted in true strength, is simple. Do nothing. Maintain your composure. Let her wonder. Let her sit in the silence she tried to escape by drawing you out. Because the moment she sees that her attempts to spark jealousy aren't working, she's the one who becomes uncertain. Why isn't he reacting? Does he not care anymore? Has he truly moved on? And in that moment of self-doubt, the very power she tried to reclaim slips through her fingers. You become the enigma, the man not easily swayed, not pulled by emotional strings. You become the one she must now figure out, the one she must now chase. In a world where most men break at the first emotional test, you must be the exception, the man who remains unmoved, self-assured, and unfazed. Because true power in relationships doesn't come from reacting, it comes from choosing not to. And that, my friend, is where the Stoic man rises above the noise. 6. She comes back, but on her terms. After ignoring your presence, pretending you no longer mattered, and possibly even throwing in a few jealousy games to twist the emotional knife, now she reappears, not with remorse, not with accountability, but with a casual hey, or a subtle emoji reaction to your story, as if the silence never existed. And this is the trap where many good men fall. The moment she sends that first breadcrumb, they leap at the chance, mistaking her return for a rekindling of love, thinking, she must have realized what she lost. But the harsh truth is, she didn't necessarily come back because she values you. She came back to see if she still could. As Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And you must understand, this is the moment where your freedom as a man, your power, and your self-respect are truly tested. Women don't always return out of genuine desire. Sometimes, it's simply about keeping the door open, maintaining control over your emotional availability, and making sure you haven't moved on. If she truly saw your worth, she wouldn't have walked away playing mind games to begin with. Her return, without explanation, without apology, without any effort to earn her place again, is not an act of affection. It's a test, a control check, a psychological probe to see if you're still emotionally hers. And if you respond too quickly, without demanding clarity or accountability, you confirm that you're still in her orbit, available on her terms, ready to be pulled back in whenever she feels uncertain or lonely. Most men, starved of that validation, forget the pain she caused, the way she vanished without concern, and instead they let their longing override their logic. They greet her with open arms, without setting any standard, without drawing a single boundary. But a Stoic man, one grounded in discipline and self-awareness, knows better. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That includes refusing to reward inconsistency with attention. A woman who vanishes and then comes back casually is not displaying commitment. She's showcasing emotional immaturity, or worse, manipulation. And unless you break the cycle, you will always be at the mercy of her whims. You'll hand over your emotional power again and again until your self-worth is nothing but a shadow of what it once was. If she reaches out with vague energy, you must hold firm. If she acts like nothing happened, you don't play along. If she truly values a second chance, she will prove it. Not with emojis, not with small talk, but with real vulnerability, real accountability, and real effort to rebuild what was broken. Anything less is a trap designed to pull you back under her emotional control. A high-value man doesn't chase breadcrumbs. He sets a table and lets only those who respect it have a seat. And if she's not coming back with sincerity and clarity, then she doesn't belong in your space, your mind, or your future. So next time she reappears out of the blue, ask yourself, is this love or is this control disguised as connection? Don't trade your peace for temporary attention. Don't trade your standards for shallow validation. Remember, your silence was strength and your boundaries are power. Now let me ask you, have you ever had a woman come back only when it was convenient for her? How did you respond? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear how you handled it and what lessons you've learned from walking the path of stoic strength in the face of emotional games. 7. She moves on or tries to. There comes a point in this silent standoff between you and her where the games stop, the testing fades, and the carefully curated social media posts designed to catch your attention begin to disappear. Not because she's suddenly at peace, but because something deeper is shifting within her. You'll notice the silence isn't just on your end anymore. She's no longer watching your stories, no longer reaching out with accidental texts, no longer baiting your emotions with subtle displays of jealousy. To the average man, this might seem like she's finally moved on, but don't be so quick to assume that still waters mean still emotions. In truth, many women, when faced with the reality that none of their emotional tactics are breaking your resolve, make a quiet decision. It's not always a conscious one, but it is predictable. They try to move on, not because they've genuinely let go, but because they can't bear the feeling of powerlessness. When a woman senses that she's no longer in control of your attention and that her attempts to trigger you have failed, she's left with two options. Either humble herself, drop the games, and return with sincerity, or take the easier path and convince herself that she's over it, even if she's not. And more often than not, she takes that second route. That's when you'll start seeing bold, sudden moves. She might jump into a new relationship, as if trying to prove something. She may start telling mutual friends or the internet how she's never been better, or how liberating it is to finally be free. Her pictures change. Her captions start sounding like self-help quotes. She appears happy, confident, reborn. But understand this. True peace doesn't need an audience, and real healing doesn't broadcast itself for validation. You don't prove that you've moved on. You simply do it. So when a woman starts marketing her new joy with suspicious urgency, chances are she's not over you. She's over the wait. And this is where many men slip up. They see her with someone new and start spiraling. They mistake this surface-level shift for genuine emotional detachment. Thoughts creep in. Did she find someone better? Did she forget me that fast? Did I mean nothing? But what you're witnessing is not a healed heart moving forward. It's a bruised ego trying to escape the silence you've mastered. Women, in contrast to most men, tend to process emotional disruption differently. Where men often withdraw to reflect, to analyse, to understand what they truly want, many women move quickly, sometimes too quickly, not toward growth, but toward distraction. They don't always sit with the discomfort of healing. Instead, they seek replacement over resolution. So when you see her throwing herself into new relationships or overselling how fine she is, recognize the performance for what it is. It's not a sign of strength. It's a signal of unrest. But here lies the critical moment for you. If you allow your emotions to take the bait, if you chase her down at the sight of her forced happiness, if you break your silence and react, you lose. Because that reaction, no matter how justified it feels, gives her exactly what her ego craved from the beginning. Confirmation that she still affects you, that she still has power over your emotional state. And once she feels that power return, the dynamic flips. She no longer needs to chase, pretend, or overcompensate, because you've surrendered the very strength that made her question herself in the first place. The Stoic man, however, does not fall for illusions. He sees beyond the surface, understands the hidden motives behind bold behaviors, and remains unmoved, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. In a world where everyone is trying to prove something, be the one who has nothing to prove. Stay composed. Let her move on, or try to, because in your silence, in your restraint, you communicate the most powerful message of all. You are a man whose value is not up for negotiation, and no temporary performance can shake the foundation of a man who knows who he is. The best response when a woman pulls away or acts indifferent is not to chase, not to react, but to stay silent and focused. Let time do its work. If she truly moved on, so be it, because a woman who leaves that easily was never truly yours. But if she was pretending, the act will eventually crumble. Your silence forces her to face the truth, and when she does, she'll be the one wondering what she lost. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A woman doesn't fully move on until she finds a man who makes her feel something deeper than you did. And that rarely happens. She might smile online, act fine, even convince herself she's better off. But deep down, she knows the value of what she let go. That's why your greatest move is to stand firm. Don't let her decide when you're worth her time. You win the moment you stop reacting and start leading with self-respect. If she truly values you, she'll return with real effort. If not, let her go, with dignity. Have you been through this? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear how you handled it. If you found this video valuable, give it a thumbs up, share it with a brother who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and powerful truths. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a woman coming back after you stopped chasing, or did she act like she moved on while secretly watching your every move? Drop your story in the comments below. I'll be reading them. Let's build something real together. This isn't just advice, it's life strategy. Comment to remember. I move with purpose and power. Tap it below to claim it as your own. And hey, before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. If a woman pulls away and suddenly shows up again on her terms, remember, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone who couldn't see it the first time. Stand firm, stay grounded, and don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions for you. A high-value man knows when to walk away with his dignity intact. If you're looking to take a deeper dive into these concepts, join my community. Links in the description. It's full of real, practical insights to help you master your masculinity in today's world of modern dating. Stay strong, stay focused, and above all, protect your power. Thanks for watching, my friend. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.